This is the preliminary session of the three-day Human Rights Commission's strategic staff retreat that is currently underway at the Pearl's residence on Lumley Beach Road in Freetown. According to the Executive Secretary of the Commission, Joseph Kamara, staff retreats are essentially moments of interaction, understanding, and common vision. They are consensual ways of planning and ensuring that set goals are met.
Staff retreats are essentially moments of interaction, moments of understanding common vision, common goal, and planning together and owning to that planning process, implementing together, and ensuring that at the end of the day, our targets that we set as common as they will be, all of us join in the process of achieving those goals. It is important that as we train ourselves to become leaders, we have to understand that leadership is critical. Oversight is critical. Supervision is critical. So as we enter into these 3 days of doing just that for ourselves, like I stated, let us be hard with ourselves.
The Human Rights Commission was established by an Act of Parliament in 2004 and began effective operations in 2007. Its principal mandate is to promote human rights and other related matters that orbit around security abuse, the uses of excessive force, juvenile justice, harsh conditions in prisons and jails, insufficient legal representation, arbitrary arrest and detention, widespread official graft, child labor, and female genital mutilation, amongst others. One of the guest speakers, who had served as a commissioner of the HRCSL, Edward Sam, told staff of the Human Rights Commission that they should always have a healthy knowledge about international human rights instruments and the institutions so as to be well suited for the job.
You really need full knowledge of the Magna Carta. You need the African Charter, or how they call African Union Charter now. Yeah, you need to know about the operations of national human rights institutions and how effective they should be. The Paris Principles. Know about the operations of the UNDP. That means you have to persuade UNDP to send you to Geneva to visit the office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights and know how they work. It's really not all the time the commissioners going. The staff must also have the opportunity to go and study. That is how the grumbling begins.
Advocating for a robust and effective protection of human rights is globally challenged by a plethora of factors. The Human Rights Commission attained an A status in 2010, making it very effective in the dispensation of its responsibilities. However, the challenges in the execution of its task are always lingering. Patricia Nasu Danema is the chairperson of HRCSL.
Fulfilling human rights is not really 100% in Sierra Leone, considering that there are various factors such as availability of adequate funding. To some extent, we are doing well. Because when you talk about enjoying human rights, we are not only looking at isolated cases. You have to take into consideration the structures put in place by government. For example, today, if somebody feels aggrieved that his or her right is being violated or abused, you have a structure like the Human Rights Commission that you can run to as a redress mechanism to help you solve a problem. You take, for example, if you have cases of assault, which cannot be fully dealt with by the Commission, you know there is a structure like the Sierra Leone Police that you can really run to. These days, we see a lot of rape cases coming up. You know, there is a Rainbow Center that will urgently address your case. So it's not assessing the human rights situation of a country, looking at isolated cases, but you have to look at the structures put in place by government, and you also have to look at the laws that are put in place by government to protect individuals and also to make sure that they enjoy their human rights.
The establishment of the Human Rights Commission was provided for in the Lome Peace Agreement of 1999 and recommended in the 2004 Truth and Reconciliation Commission report. It is hoped that the end of this three-day retreat will well energize and refresh staff of the Commission for the continuation of the fight to instill a sustained and equal human rights for all in Sierra Leone. SLBC News Eustace Victor Jones.